Hello, hello. Welcome to another Wednesday Live. I am your host, Tashika Ma'at, founder of Jama Wealth Financial, and I help you keep more cash in your pockets so you can position to wealth and create a life of freedom and ease. And in today's Wednesday Live video, we're going to be talking about why is it that you're making all this money and how you can actually move forward. So I'm going to be talking about the four numbers every high earning woman should track. And this is coming off of my masterclass that I had today. I was like, I got to get this out. So this is recorded because I feel like I've been talking a lot. I'm going to rest my voice after this, but I wanted to get this out to you, especially if you missed the masterclass, because these are some of the areas that I feel like as you are earning more money, the reason you're not saying, or the reason you're saying that you don't know where your money is going is because you don't have clarity into these areas. And I broke it down into more detail and I shared my cash flow command system on my masterclass. But I want to give this to you because this, at the minimum, will help you have more clarity as to what you can use as a base point to start figuring out, okay, well, at least I know where I am right now, right? I want you to know where you are, what your overall financial picture looks like now, because then that's going to be able to set you up for the next level of what you need to do to get over that hump and start creating more of that financial freedom and ease that you're talking about. Okay. And these are four areas, four numbers that I feel like are essential because without it, it's not going to um, you're going to always find yourself in that stage of like, I don't know what's going on, I'm confused, right? So I want you to have more confidence moving forward. But I want to say one thing. We are not going to start with a budget, okay? Before you get into the numbers, I need you to be crystal clear on what you want, right? I want you to define for yourself, what does financial freedom actually look like for you? Does that look like more time with your family? Is it being able to leave that toxic job without having any concerns? Is it you being able to get laid off from your job and not have to worry about going back to corporate? Maybe it's the ability for you to just have more confidence that you know what's happening with your finances, right? But your numbers should work for your life. Before we get into the numbers, you have to understand, what do you want your income to do for you? Because that's where you're going to get more clarity about what the direction is. And then you're able to then align the plan to move towards that. So first things first, step one is start with the vision. Step two is you want to get an understanding of what is your actual income coming in. And I'm not talking about your salary, because that six-figure salary looks good, but I want to understand, what is the real income coming into your bank account? After the taxes, after the deductions, after all those things, what's actually hitting your bank account? Because a lot of you are making decisions based off of that gross income and you're not even seeing half that money, right? Think about it. It's gross because you don't even get to see that money. You're making all this money, but you're not able to see it because all the taxes and deductions and everything that's coming out. So I want you to look at that net pay. If you don't know how to do this, all you need to do is pull the last 2 to 3 pay stubs to look at your average take-home pay. You can also look into your bank account and see the amount of money that was actually deposited into your account. But the point here that I want to make is that your income is literally just the starting point for you, right? It is not the end goal. I know the feeling is like, I just need to make more money. I just need to hustle and get that income. But the income really isn't the goal. The income is just a starting point for you to understand what's happening with your finances so that you can then create the plan, like we talked about, to go along with the vision to get you there, right? So step one, understand your income. Step two, if you understand what's coming in, you got to understand what's going out, right? And it's not about having perfection in what you're doing and being to the T on your spending plan. Trust me, I know I've been there. I've been one of those people who used to obsess over a budget. I mean, this was when I was, really trying to learn how to manage my finances and really get out of that debt phase. And I your girl can spend some hours on a budget. And now that I know better, now that I know what actually moves the needle, and I can tell you it is not obsessing over a budget, it's not obsessing over numbers and plugging in the little spreadsheets. That's not it. What it is, again, is once you've gotten that vision, you understand what's coming in, then you're going to look at your overall spending in terms of what are your fixed expenses, what are those things that have a due date that you have a requirement to pay each month. You want to understand what that is. And then you also want to understand what are your variable expenses. What are the things that, don't have a due date, you are in control of how much you spend and when you spend. What are those things that you want to, that are coming out of your money each month, right? And this is an area that's important because I know a lot of times people focus on just the fixed expenses. So you're taking your income, you're subtracting all your bills, and then you're like, boom, I'm good. But what most people forget is to think about all the other little expenses that may be coming out. The Uber Eats, the Amazon, the subscriptions, all of those things that, yeah, maybe it's not a bill, but you're still spending money on. So when you have that feeling of, I don't know where my money's going, what's happening to all my money? I make too much money and I feel like I got nothing. It's because you're forgetting about those things that don't have a due date and you're spending money on them, right? But this is where clarity is going to help you. Clarity is going to give you more choices because if you don't track it, you can't redirect it. And when I say tracking, again, I'm not talking about endless hours in the spreadsheet. There are many tools and things out here where you can create a system that'll give you the data as to what's happening with your money, and you can get that information to help you make more informed decisions and being more intentional with your finances. Okay. So what step are we on? That was 1, 2, step 3. Step 4 is I want you to also understand how much debt you have. So you're going to list out everything that you have. And this is one of those moments where you're going to have to be patient with yourself. You're going to have to, take a deep breath. Don't judge yourself. But I want you to write down the balances that you have, your debt balances. Write down the interest rates that you have. Write down the monthly payments that you have. Because again, clarity is what's going to help you move forward. If you have a high income and you're like, well, I pay my bills off every month, but you're still carrying some debt, you want to free up that income, right? From putting that money to, you want to free that up so that you can have more confidence and not have that feeling of wondering where your money is going. Because yes, while you may be able to pay it off every month, understand that your cash flow may still be negative, right? Because if you're spending more than your income, whether you pay it with cash or your credit card, you're still spending more than your income, right? And I know you may feel a lot of stress around this because most of it is because you just never created a plan. You just wait till the bills come and then you pay that credit card off. And sometimes you may have the cash in your bank account, you pay that off in full, and then you find yourself back to square one where now you are reaching for the credit card again. That feeling that like you never have enough, it's because there's probably some inconsistency with your system in how you're managing your credit card debt and your overall expenses, right? So this part really is about you just getting a quick snapshot of what's happening so that you can feel more in control, because once you have clarity on what's going on, then you can create a plan and we can keep it moving, right? Step number 5. This is the cream of the crop, the most important thing that you need. And this is your net worth. This is what you're building. Your net worth is your big picture. It's going to give you what you own, right? All your assets, your home, your car, your cash account, your investments, all the things that you own minus the things that you owe. So all the debt, your mortgage payments, all of those things. And why does this matter? This matters because your net worth is the true picture of what is your financial health. If you want to understand how well am I doing financially, calculate your net worth. That's going to let you know whether you are on track if you're moving forward and you're building wealth, or maybe you have a negative net worth. And I want you to understand that even if your net worth is negative, is not a point for you to shame yourself or to even get frustrated with. Just know that that is simply a data point. It is a data point that now you know where you are and you can actually make progress to changing it towards where you want to be. So remember we talked about the vision at the top of this video. Now is the point where now that you understand your income, your expenses, what your debts are, and your net worth, now you can make that shift, right? Now you can look at, all right, I sat down with all my numbers. I realized that, ooh, I'm spending and I don't even know where my money's going. Or, oh, I actually don't have as much debt that I thought I had, right? But you won't know this if you don't take the time to get more aware. So again, instead of throwing your hands up and taking away your power and saying, I don't know where my money's going, you're going to take the intentional step to figuring out what's happening. And again, those 4 numbers, 4 areas where you're going to check, right? It's 5 steps. First, you want to figure out what it is that you actually want and what you're working towards. And then those 4 numbers are going to help you look at what it is that you need to shift and change to start moving towards that vision that you have, right? And the more clear you can get, the more control you can have to understand how to move forward and start making progress towards your overall goals, right? So I encourage you this week, just take 20 to 30 minutes, right? Just sit down, look at your pay stubs, check your spending, list out your debts, calculate your assets, and understand what's actually happening. And if you'd like, I'm going to drop in the comments my financial clarity checklist that explains to you exactly what I just shared in this process, but it's going to give you more of that insights as to what's happening so that you can move forward. And if you're like, okay, I've gone through the checklist, but I just need somebody to look at this for me. I need some help in guiding. I do offer free clarity calls where I help you figure out what's the gap that's keeping you stuck. Like, what is it that maybe you're not seeing that's keeping you from moving forward and building your savings or seeing your investments grow? That's where you can get that support from a coach such as myself to help you move forward on that progress. So I'll drop that in the link as well to book a financial clarity call, because the goal is for you to take back your power. I want you to feel more in control. I want you to understand what's happening with your finances, because once you get more clarity on what's going on, then the cash flow starts flowing. It really does. So, say all this to say, get clear on your numbers. This is one of the most powerful things that you can do to move forward. Like, this really shouldn't be a mystery. We shouldn't be holding up our hands saying, I don't know where my money's going. We are going to eliminate that statement moving forward, right? We are no longer going to say that, because now you're going to be in control, right? I want your money to feel like more of a tool for you than you actually feeling like it's a place of stress. Define what you want for your life, where you are going, figure out those numbers. What is your income? What are your expenses? How much debt do you have? What is your overall net worth? And then you make a plan to move forward to make things happen. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. I will catch y'all next week for another Wednesday Live. If you have any questions in watching this replay, make sure you drop them in the comments. I love to look at those and help create new content based on your feedback. All right. So until next time, here's to your financial freedom. Peace.